Lesufi is expected to visit Unity School in Daveyton East of Johannesburg following a mob justice incident in which has disrupted schooling in the area. It's believed that the community went on a rampage for the past few days, attacking suspect gang members believed to be terrorising the community. Now, for more on the story, we cross live now to our reporter Mahlako Komane. Mahlako, thank you very much indeed for your time. How's the situation there this morning?
Well, when we drove, good morning. Well, when we drove into Daveyton this morning, things do look a little bit calm, but obviously there was a lot of police presence. You could see police just patrolling the area, but it does look like a normal school, a normal weekday with people going about their day-to-day business. But I think for more of what is expected to happen here today at the Unity Secondary School in Daveyton, we'll speak to Steve Mabona from the Department of Education, and he'll also just tell us how their learners are affected by this and how is it that the department has become involved in this, because we do know that gang-related violence among children in high school, of a high school going age in Daveyton has been it has been an issue here in Daveyton. This is not the first time. Initially, there were issues in Etwato, another section of Daveyton, where such things were taking place, where gang-related violence was an issue for the community and also within the schooling environment, because a lot of these so-called gang members are school-going children. Let's ask Steve quickly what it is that is going to take place here today, and also what it is that it is that they are trying to do to ensure that they curb such activities within their school grounds. Thank you so much for talking to us, Steve. Steve, can you just please tell us what is it exactly that what happened yesterday or this whole week here in this area, and also if you could just also tell us what is going to happen today and the plans of the department.
Thank you very much. I think what has been happening here, it's quite a gory, situation that we've experienced. As you will understand, that this is a school environment. We normally say schools are heaven of learning, and teaching. We don't need disruptions. But then we understand the community was, tired of the robberies, other crimes that are happening, and allegedly some of the gang members are, learners. And we saw in the pictures when the learners were banned yesterday, and we felt that, look, we need to come to the school. Though the learner that was banned, who is actually at hospital now, is not from this school, he came here probably to point at a gang member who happened to be a learner here. But he could not do that. He tried to escape, and we understand he was accosted, not very far from the school, by the community members, and he was set alight there. And we are saying, we cannot have a situation whereby members of the community come to the school and have such situations. So we are here with the MEC to interact with the stakeholders. We have faith-based missions. We have the leadership of the area, the SGB, the school community, and just to interact. And the police are here as well, just to brief on what might have transpired, how far are they with the case, and how are we going to move forward to plan and make sure that we discourage everything that is happening here.
Can you just please tell me, Steve, how are your educators feeling about this? I mean, we all know that gang-related activities are huge in Daveyton schools. It's not our first time. It's been going on for years. Does this affect teaching in the school? How is the performance in terms of academics? Because at the end of the day, that is what it is about, going to school, getting an education.
Look, when we interacted with the principal earlier, he said, no, look, according to what he knows, boys might be naughty, but he does not detect that, the gangsterism in his school. So we are actually safe to say we are actually convinced that probably there's no, gangsterism in the school, because the principal says he does not detect it. So what we want to do here, we came with the professionals who are going to interact with the teachers and some of the learners to say they need counseling. That process must, go ahead. Our officials are here already waiting, to be guided on how they're going to do that.
Yeah, I understand Unity is one of your good schools in the area. They're one of your better performing schools here in the Daveyton area. But in other schools, like I'd mentioned earlier, when you go down into Etwatwa, those are the issues. The community also, they had an issue where children weren't allowed to go to school depending on who was in what gang. What measures did you put into place there? What are you going to do now going forward so you don't have a situation whereby learners are being pulled out of school by an angry mob or the community?
Look, we've been interacting with the community. We've been interacting with the school population. Remember, there's other schools that we suggest that we want to close as a form of an intervention, saying we want to move the learners from this other school to the others and merge the schools so that we have productivity in terms of your curriculum. But parents said no. Don't close the school. Let's work together and make sure that we change things around. So we've been working very well with the members of the community on a continuous basis, trying to change things around. And there's much improvement, though we then need to make sure that we refurbish the school that had problems where we were experiencing such problems. But we are working very well, and we are convinced that we'll turn the corner and make sure that at least there's some sense of education that is happening, and teaching and learning quite a priority. And where we need to provide counseling, like as the school that the learner that is banned belong to, that is in Sika Primary, we will have to go there and make sure that we intervene accordingly.
Thanks so much for talking to us, Steve. Indeed, that was Steve Mabona just telling us about the various programs that they have going on in this community, which issues of gangsterism are coming up regularly. Steve also just told us that the MEC will be here, them as a department, and also the various stakeholders, your police, your community as well, to come and see how it is that they can best address the scourge that they are having in their community.
Komane, thank you very much indeed for your reporting live for us in Johannesburg. I want to take you now to